Sharp came here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, off of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And here it is. This can be found on Amazon.com. And if you like ebooks, click the link below this video. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I did a video a couple of weeks ago talking about testing women. So I told you some ways how you can go about doing that without women being aware of it. But I also didn't tell you the other side of the coin. So let me tell you a story. About 10 years ago, I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I had a girlfriend, and we lived together. And, at the time, I've been in Charlotte for about 11 years. And she was living there for 10 years. No, I'm sorry. She was living there for 1 year. And she moved in with me. So she didn't know anybody in the town, basically. She was basically starting from scratch as far as having a social life and everything. So I'm basically the only person she knew in Charlotte at the time. So she went online and, started contacting people from different meetup groups or through mutual friends she might have known or whatever. And so that was cool. I ain't had a problem with that, So what happened is she started meeting people out and about in the city. And, she started hanging with people that I didn't necessarily like. I didn't really necessarily care for or whatever. So, she started inviting these women over to the house. And where I live at is my safe haven. I'm very protective of who I invite over to my house. And that's a video for another day. I'm going to tell you the reasoning behind that and the logic behind that. So what happened is there's this one chick, she was coming over every other day. I'm talking like sometimes back-to-back days, day and night. So I'm like, damn, she's overstaying her welcome. I mean, goddamn, she's cool and everything, but shit, she's coming over day and night. I'm talking like, she'll just make random calls and say, hey, can I come over? I'll bring a bottle of wine or some beer or something like that. And she'll come over and they'll talk or whatever. And I'm in the room for the most part. I might come out and walk back and forth or whatever. Now, at the time, I've never had a conversation with this girl. All I say is, hi, how you doing? That's about it. All I knew was her name, basically. I didn't know anything about her. I didn't know where she was from. I didn't know if she was married. I didn't know anything. So I told my girl at the time, I said, hey, you know what? I don't want her over here. You know what I'm saying? Just meet her out and about or go over to her house, right? So she didn't take it very well. She got upset, So I said, okay, I'm going to take this shit in my own hands. So what I did, I said, you know what? I sat down. I said, I got to figure out a way to stop her from coming over here. So I said, shit, okay. I said, okay, I'm going to start touching her. So what I started doing is for example, I think the next time she came over, I said, you know what, I'm going to go for a hug. You know what I'm saying? Because if most people don't like hugging people that they don't know. Right? So I said, I'm going to go for a hug and see what she do. So the next time she came over, I opened the door and I was like, hey, how you doing? And I gave her a hug and she reciprocated. So I said, oh, shit. So that, so that didn't work out that well. I was looking for her to not receive the hug as well, but she was cool with it, right? So from there, this went on for weeks, months, right? So every time, so you know how let me tell you what else I used to do. If she's walking past me, I would grab her arm and let it go, right? I was doing that shit like consistently. It was like every time she walked past me, I'm talking like consistently doing this shit, time after time. And then if, for example, if her and my girl or anyone else was sitting down at the dinner table, I would walk behind her and grab her by the shoulders and let it go, and I would keep it moving. I would walk past. I would do that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now, you keep in mind, I'm doing this shit in front of everybody. I'm not hiding this shit. I'm not doing this in private. I'm grabbing her by the arm, and I'm grabbing her on the shoulders, and I'm doing this shit in front of everybody, right? And turns out she likes it. So I said, oh, shit. I'm supposed to be, my intent of doing this is to have her get so uncomfortable that she doesn't want to come over anymore. But it's backfiring on me, man, right? So what happened is after that, I noticed that when she started coming over, she used to sit on the couch with my girl. She was like close. Like, I'm talking like her leg was right here, and my girl's leg was like right here. They were like real close, like intimate, like male and females do, right? So I'm looking at them. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? You know what I'm saying? What is this? So I never said anything to my girl about it, because I figured, hey, she'll handle that shit. She'll take care of it. There's no need for me to say anything about it, because I've been knowing her for a long time. So whatever the girl is trying to do, she'll take care of that shit, right? So from there, she started inviting us to like meetups at her house. Like I think one time she had a birthday party for her little boy, and around at this party that we went to, I met her husband. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if she was married or not. So I met her husband for the first time, and the little boy, and some other friends and family that she had, right? Which was cool, So I'm like, okay. So that's from there. I started getting to know her. I started asking more questions and just getting to know her as a person, just to see what type of person she is. And it was another guy that came in the picture, because her and his wife were like mutual friends, but my man, he tried to fuck. So what happened is she told my girl at the time that they went in she went in the restroom at some late night spot we went to. Is like a club late night spot we went to at the time, and she went in the restroom, and my man went in the restroom behind her, and he whipped out and showed his dick. He whipped his dick out, and I guess maybe she didn't like what she saw or whatever, I don't know, but and then he started sending her texts a couple days later, and I don't know what happened, but it didn't seem like she was amused or turned on by the way he went about doing things. So when I saw that and I heard about it, I was like, I don't want to leave no paper trail behind me. I don't want to be like him. I'm not sending no texts. I'm not calling her. I'm not doing any of that shit, because I didn't have her contact information anyway. But I said the way he went about doing that was kind of tacky in my in my opinion, whipping out your dick in the restroom, I'm not gonna do that shit, and I'm not gonna send any texts. So after that, she kept sending, she kept inviting us over to her house, and then she still kept coming over. So when she kept coming over, I still was giving her a hug. I still was touching her and doing all that shit, all the same old shit, grabbing her by the arm and letting go. But here's something that kind of the dynamic between her and my girl changed, because every time she started coming over, she was sitting on the floor. She wasn't sitting on the couch anymore by her. So I said, "Oh, okay, this is interesting." So what happened is just one Saturday. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. It was like 4 girls that came over. They had like a potluck. Some girl brought some shit over, and they were cooking some shit too. So the girl that kept inviting us over all the time, that was hitting on my girl and kept coming over, she was cooking some shit on the stove, right? So what happened is I walked out of the room and I walked to the kitchen. I kept walking back and forth, and she was in the kitchen standing in front of the frying pan stirring some shit up, some vegetables, right? So what I did, I said, you know what? I'm about to walk behind her and put my chin on her shoulder. And when I walked behind her, I put my chin on her shoulder and I grabbed her by the stomach. So I basically gave her a hug from behind. When I did that shit, that's when I knew I could fuck this bitch. Word up. Because there's no woman on this planet that's gonna let you get away with that. Because that's a very intimate exchange. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, now keep in mind, I'm doing this shit in front of everybody. Everybody can see this shit. Everybody didn't see what I did in the kitchen, but I think my girl saw it. Because after that, probably 2 days later, she said, "Hey, how come every time she comes over here, you're always touching her all the time?" I don't do that with her husband. So I'm like, "Hey, I know what I'm doing. Be quiet." And I started laughing, right? And shortly after that, she still was coming over all the time. She would come over drinking, and then I caught her staring at me a couple times. So all I did is just look and smile, and I kept it moving because I didn't have any intentions of sleeping with her, but I know I could if I wanted to, right? But what happened is my girl told me that her and her husband, they were going to move because he got a new job. So they were going to move somewhere like Hawaii, somewhere like that. So she said they were going to be moving within the next 90 days. And he was going to leave first because he had to go and start working and get situated and everything. So my girl, like I said, she caught on because she thought that I was trying to fuck. And she knew that the girl, her friend, she would go through with it if I was to push the issue, right? So, the husband left, and it was just her and the little boy, and she was, she was working, and she dropped the kids off at daycare or whatever. And so I kept telling my girl, "Hey, you gonna let me wish her off before before she leaves, right?" So she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you see her or whatever, So you know what? I never saw the girl, and I haven't seen her since she caught on to what she thought was that we might be fucking or something like that. I never seen the girl since that night when I walked up behind her and put my chin on her shoulder. My girl at the time, she cut that shit off. She put a stop to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, she wished her off. She seen the girl. So, see, from the time that she caught on to what she thought was going on, she started meeting the girl at a mutual friend's house. She didn't have her come over to see us anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the moral of the story is, sometimes you never know what can happen until you try. Even though you might have bad intentions, it could turn out to be completely different. You know what I'm saying? And it could go the other way. Even though you might have good intentions, but it could turn out to be the opposite. So sometimes you just have to try. That's the moral of me telling this story. You just have to try. Even though if the odds are against it, doing whatever you're trying to do, you just gotta get it going. You just gotta try. You don't have to get it right. You just gotta get it going. That's the whole point of me telling this story. You know what I mean? So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel and check out my blog. And P.S. and by the way, if you want your questions guaranteed to be answered, donate. Click the donate button, and I'll get back to you as quick as possible. So until next time, my name is Mr. Sharp Game. I'm out.